We are live. So, Monica, Mwaniki, good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Elvis. And
Yes,
thank you for the collaboration we've been having with you in this journey of creating financial literacy to the youth and to everyone who is an investor. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Monica Mwaniki, and I am the CEO of Arvocap Asset Managers. I am a seasoned investment banker and now a fund manager, coupling up as a private wealth advisor. I have done this for the last 15 years. I did my studies back at the University of Nairobi, and then I augmented that with some professional course, that's CPAs. I did up to CPA level 6, so I'm a qualified accountant, not practicing. I'm also a master's in commerce from Strathmore University, and now augmenting it with investment courses, that's a CC. I am passionate about investment. I am passionate about the youth and the young, and mentorship is also part of what I do. And besides that, I am a mother of 3. Thank you.
Oh, you're a mom of 3.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations. Actually, that's a
Thank
round of
you.
applause.
Thank
You
you.
deserve a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good to see you grinding. Thank you so much for the introduction, Asante Sana. That's well put. Your academic qualifications are very bespoke. Mimi, I think I would introduce myself. Bachelors of Procurement and Freelancer, period. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Elvis. Thank you.
Asante,
And thank
Santi. I
you.
think I'll
Yeah.
move. Yes, thank you so much. I'm looking for Mr. Wilson. Is Mr. Wilson here? Is John here? John, if you're with us, I think you can actually unmute your microphone. Okay, I think no worries.
I can see.
Oh, John.
Okay.
John is here. John.
Oh, yes, good evening, Elvis, and good evening, every one of us. I would have loved to join in with the video. I think you can help me be able to join in the video so that people can put a face to the voice. But
Sure.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you very much, Elvis, and thank you, everyone, for making this happen. Investment in knowledge can never be taken away. And so every time we find a chance to talk about something that will build us, either financially, intellectually, or any other way, this is normally a very, very good opportunity. And so I want to promise that we are going to have a very, very good session tonight. We are going to learn from each other, and we are going to make sure that whatever we are learning, we are putting it into practice, because it is one thing to learn and the other thing to put into practice what you are learning. When I was in school, someone told me that masomo ni mzuri, lakini kuconvert hiyo masomo ikuwe pesa, hapo ndio kazi iko. And so tonight we are not just going to do another academic exercise, we are also going to make sure that whatever we are learning, there is an action point for it. My name is John Kamau. I am the head of growth and customer excellence at Arvocap Asset Managers. And I have a background in economics and financial analysis. I'm also doing my CC exams just to be able to help, or rather to put me up there in terms of being able to help you make investment decisions that are in line with the current market trends and the opportunities that are there in the market. And I'm here also to learn as well from, all of us. What I would like to request is that we make this session very engaging. Ask questions, make sure that umesikia CV ya CEO, umesikia Elvis and prepare this session for us. So make sure that there's nothing that we are leaving on the table. Make it your session, and I'm very sure that we are going to learn from each other. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, John. Actually, give them a round of applause. That's amazing. That's amazing introductions. Can you introduce yourself like that? I think people need to learn business language, because as you can see already, the introductions show that these are serious people. Yeah, it's very good. Thank you so much. I think I'll first start with Monica, the CEO of Arvocap Asset Managers. First question, Monica, if you're here with us, how can one actually make it through tough economic times? Like, I think already we are experiencing that. If you might allow me, I don't want to mention a name that is being mentioned all around the country, but I might give you quote unquote Kasongo moments. Huh? How can one make it through tough economic times?
Thank you. Thank you, Elvis. And as again I said, thank you for hosting us and thank you all for joining in. I think tough economic times is a constant now and future. So this is a strategy you need to adopt right now on how you'll be navigating life, not just right now, but across times. So there are 3 simple practical ways that I will give investors on how to approach tough times. One is to call a self-audit. You need to call yourself for a meeting and start analyzing your expenses and your income. Be true to yourself. What is the reality? Kwa ground, mambo iko aje? How is your investments? How is your position? There is 2 things that affect your income. These are the needs and the wants. It is very good to call yourself and start naming these expenses that you incur every day, whether it's a need or a want. And some things may disguise themselves as a need, as a want, because remember, a need is a must, is something that you cannot do without. For example, housing, food, that's a need. But a want is something you can do away with. Some expenses may disguise themselves as a need, for example, housing, but where are you living? Maybe the house you're living in is already taking in 70% of your income or your salary. So then that is not a need, it is a want that you can reduce to a need because you can get a housing that is cheaper. So there is first assessing your needs and your wants and calling them for what they are. Number 2 is cutting off what is not necessary, your wastages that you're going through. You may find you're spending a lot of money, maybe on small expenses like Ubers, expenses like subscriptions or bundles, or it may sound minute, but maybe maybe consuming a lot of your income. So start cutting down on the expenses that you possibly can, so that you can have a buffer. The next thing is to live below your means. Live below your means. You do not have to live above or within your means. You can still try to live below your means, still decently. The other factor that you may want to consider is how can you increase your income? How can you increase your top line so that you can be able to fit the mid of your expenses, of your balance sheet, or your if you list down your expenses? How do you increase your income? I know we are young people here. We do have talents. We do have some skills that we can monetize. You'll be surprised if you wrote in your Instagram or in your WhatsApp status, I know how to swim. I teach people how to swim. Contact me. You'll be surprised how many people will contact you and you can actually make a living from such a skill. Maybe you can be able to do video editing. Maybe you can be able to, there are all sorts of jobs that you can be able to do that just call for your skills, your soft skills. So how can you monetize this? And I know Elvis talks a lot about this. As young people, there are skills that we are sitting on that we can monetize and increase our income and be able to live well even within these tough times. I think those are the 3 practical ways I can give. And I'm sure we will be able to improve the situation. Elvis?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Monica, for that. One thing is reduce your expenses, especially things that you think you want, and seek better ways to actually get to increase your income. I think most of the time we're always looking to spend, but we don't want to work on improving our income. Thank you so much for that. When you were talking, I think I was seeing some guys clapping because there's someone who wants a salary of 100,000 and probably they live in a house here 85,000. So at the end of the month, they're always going to. Thank you for that, John. John, I'd like to pose this question to you, all
Yes,
right?
sir.
And the question I'd like to ask to you would be this.
Mhm.
How can someone build an investment portfolio, especially as a young person?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am seeing some very good feedbacks from what Monica has shared with us there. Someone is living, earning a salary of 100,000 and a lipa rent 85,000 shillings. And a lipa someone else. So you are paying someone else essentially instead of being able to, use that money to build yourself. Very good insights from Monica there. How are you able to build a portfolio as a young person? So number one is acknowledging that there is no perfect time to start and there is no perfect place to start. For most of us, we normally imagine that where I am right now, I can continue earning or doing whatever that I am doing, kuchapa life, you only live once. And then, in your mind, you're thinking, I still have some time to figure out my life. I have this to tell us this evening that number one, there is nothing like a perfect time to start building a portfolio or investing for that matter. Where you are with the little that you think you have, there is nothing that is too little when it comes to investment and when it comes especially purposeful investment. So the first thing is to acknowledge that where I am, I don't have to wait until an unforeseen future for me to be able to get started. Number two, is now to be able to research widely because as a fund manager, there is what we offer ourselves, but that does not, it's not the universe in terms of investments. What we normally advise as professionals is that you need to start with investments that match three things. One, your risk profile, so that you're not starting investment, on the scaling or rather doing investments, and all of them are risky. So match your investments with your risk profile, match your investments with your cash flows. There are investments that would need you to keep topping up. There are others are one-off. There are others that would penalize you if you don't top up. There are others that are very flexible. And number three, match them with the investment time horizon because there are vehicles that are for short term, vehicles that are for medium term, and investment opportunities that are for long term. So once you are able to define, once you're able to say that now this is, I am gonna start where I am. How are my cash flows? How much can I be able to spare so that I am able to invest in start my investment journey? How am I shielded so that I am matching my goals with the risk profile of the investment opportunities that are there? For instance, if you're looking to build a portfolio and you're looking for certainty in terms of income, you cannot then expose yourself to all the risky investment opportunities that are there. So you need to match them with the risk appetite for the fund that you are going with. So what I would say is start from where you are, research and find out what is your investment horizon in terms of time, what is your risk profile, and how are your cash flows looking like, so that you can be able to marry all of them and be able to start creating portfolios. You start from where you are, going to where you don't know. That's why it's always important to consult an advisor or a professional so that they can be able to guide you on whatever available opportunities that are there. Yes.
I think the thing I'm getting from you, John, is that it's very, very important for you to really, first of all, I think we grapple with this fact of thinking, and not kickstarting probably your journey, thinking that you probably need massive
True.
resources to begin and probably package your investment portfolio. But the goal is for you to actually
True.
just get started and get the right person to actually take you or hold your hand.
Very true. Very, very true. If you keep on planning and you never put it in practice, it will definitely never actualize. It will never come to be. You need to get started. After all, as I have said, there is no perfect time to start from where you are. Yes.
Thank you, John. Now, I want to throw this particular question to you because majority of the people who listen to me are actually young people, and young people are always like, I have students, And I also have young professionals, guys who are working in various sectors. They're freelancers, they are graphic designers. And I would probably throw this question to you. That is for you to tell us investment strategies that students and young professionals can actually get to use. John, if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Thank you very much. And that is a very, very good question. And I think for this, we said we are talking the truth, isn't it? We listen when we don't judge. So tuongee ukweli
Yes.
ndio tusaidike. One of the challenges that we normally find with young people is the bit about you only live once. You know, we want to live the moment, and we are forgetting about tomorrow. We are forgetting about other responsibilities that are there for us. So even before I talk about the investment opportunities that are available or the investment strategies for students and young professionals, the first thing I want to address is the bit about delayed pleasure for future gratification. You know, us being at a place where we can be able to delay that pleasure. Let me say this. You could be in a company, or you could be comparing yourself to other people, and you want to live the life they are living. Kumbe, that person is eating bonus, they are eating interest, they are eating coupons, and you are eating your seeds. So at the end of the day, you will have eaten what you have planted. So the fact bit about young professionals and students is the ability to delay today's, the pleasure that you would have enjoyed today for purposes of tomorrow. In other words, being able to say, I would shelf that pleasure today so that tomorrow I would be able to enjoy even more fruits. I plant the seed so that I can eat the harvest on another day. The second thing I would want to say for students is and young professionals is that there are many places where you can be able to start with. For example, when we are talking about short-term goals and short-term investments, we have very many options. You can have treasury bills. We have short-term fixed deposits. We have money market funds. We have, all those short-term investment opportunities. But I would also want to encourage you to be able to match them with a goal, because matching an investment with a goal gives you what we call the staying power, right? So there are those, you have the opportunities, the short term, the goals break down into short term, medium term, and long term goals. Match the short term goals with short term investments. Those are the money markets, your T bills, and we have T bills for 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. Money market funds are almost like a cash management tool, and I hope we get some time to talk about the money market fund in our conversation. Then for medium term, you can talk about the short term, the medium term bonds, your equity funds or investment in equities. The long term goals, we can talk about funds that invest in a longer time horizon. We can talk about even real estate. There are many options that would you have in the market that would match you with the goals that you have. So the very first thing, as a young professional and as a student, do you have visibility of what you want to do in the next 1 year, in the next between 1 year to 3 years, and in 3 years and above? Then you can start matching an investment to those goals depending on the investment spectrum. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, John. I'm getting the idea of short-term goals, long-term goals, and then matching that with investments that actually serve that particular purpose. I think, thank you, John. I'll get back to you in a few to talk about short-term and long-term investment strategies. But I just want to move directly to Monica. Monica I hope she's still here with us.
I am here.
Good. I think I'm going to pose this particular question for you. The question I'm going to pose is the importance of financial planning and budgeting. Bearing in mind, like someone like me, I still in as much as I've been able to do all these, I still struggle with budgeting and financial planning, because sometimes I'm going to write a very good budget. Kwanza nitengeneze na Excel or Google Sheets. A very nice document, iko tu sawa, I print it, I put it there. And then when I just leave the house, I just start spending money. I don't even remember I have a budget. I have a plan, I have a financial plan, but it is just a plan to maybe make me feel good. Like It's going to make me feel like I'm working on my finances. But in real sense, I'm not doing that. So I'd like for you to expound the importance of financial planning and having budgeting. Budgeting is quite important because I've learned it actually gets to work.
There's something I said when I was starting, and I said we need to be true with ourselves. You need to be true to yourself. You need to call yourself for those meetings and have a meeting with yourself. There is another thing that John has overemphasized, and maybe I can also do the same, is identifying your goals, listing why you're working hard, why you want money, what will you do with this money. The moment you name the reason why you are investing, then saving, investing, budgeting becomes easier. If I know I am saving to do my master's, I have a goal. My eyes are on that goal. If today I pass by and I see a very expensive handbag, I will know this is not the goal. But if my goal was I'm saving, I'm investing because I attended a webinar by Elvis and a lady called Monica said you need to save or to budget, that's why I'm doing that, you will not get to your goal. So get listing your goals and group them, as John was saying, in either short term, mid-term, and long term. And we're not saying you don't do those purchases or those buys, but budget for them, plan for them. The other thing we need to remember is that money is a factor of production capital, and it is scarce. So what do we do with scarce resources? We budget, we plan, because it cannot fit all our needs. So you need to budget for this money because it's limited. Otherwise, everyone here would be having even the Lamborghinis or whatever choppers around if money was not limited. So because it's a limited resource, it is only good to start planning around it. The other thing is unpredictabilities of life. We may not know what will happen tomorrow. And there's something John has mentioned, that young people live for today. And they feel like, even if I spend all my salary on this income I have today, see, next month I'll still earn more. But who told you you will? Who told you you will? You may not know about the future, so it is good to stay planning about the future. Again, remember there are things like emergencies, which are way beyond our control. Supposing you woke up one day, if you have a car and you found the tire is flat, or you burst a tire, and you need to buy a new tire immediately. Where do you get money from? Supposing your laptop crashed, you're a student, you need to buy another laptop. What do? Anything can happen. You can get sick, your parent can become sick, or an emergency can come. So those are the reasons why we need to do financial planning. That's what I'm saying. When you call yourself for a meeting and you realize the truth that you are dealing with, then you're able to stay focused to the goal. So we have said, one, money is a limited resource, so it needs to be planned. Two, there is an eventualities of unpredictabilities of life. Economies also change. Inflation could go high, so prices are high. You cannot afford the life that you used to have, so it's good to put money aside. The other thing is goals. Identify your goals and start saving towards your goals. Yes, thank you, Elvis.
Thank you so much, Monica, for that. Asante sana. I think you deserve a round of applause for those particular insights. And thank you to everyone who's joined. I currently see we have a total of around 545 people in the session. 545. That's amazing, actually. I've never done a webinar and had 545 people in one particular session. On TikTok, we are 194. 353 on Google Meet. Thank you everyone for being part of this particular conversation. Now, Monica, I'm going to pose this particular question to you. You mentioned something about saving. You know, sometimes I'm also that person. I will save. All right, I'm that person who might save money, and then when I feel, hey, it's bad, you just go back to your savings and you crash your box and you say, hey, my friend, I'm sorry, I was trying to save for December, but there is this person I need to take out. So, hey, kwanza hiyo we'll hold on. Maybe you can tell us, like, probably some of the good saving habits, like saving habits that we can cultivate, especially in 2025, to prevent you from chipping in and dipping into your savings and losing all your money.
All right. um, remember again, we go back to the reason, the why you're saving. So of course those things come and they are tempting, and you really feel there's this thing that has come and it's masquerading itself as an emergency, and you will say, this is the emergency that I was saving for. This date is the emergency. You know, that's how it comes masquerading itself. So you need to embrace yourself with the tools that will help you do the right saving. So if you want to save money for emergency, you should put it in a vehicle that you can readily access it. Again, if you're trying to save for a long-term goal, let's say to buy land or to build or to travel, maybe you're planning 2025, you or 2026, you want to travel. You need to put that money somewhere that you cannot access it that easily. So again, you need to look for vehicles that are not accessible. They are safe, but not accessible. Because remember, we started with an honest discussion or meeting with yourself, and you know maybe you're not so disciplined. So you need to instill discipline in yourself. You can even get an accountability partner, and something that forces you to save. That when my money comes in, I usually have even put a standing order straight to, maybe it's the SACCO, maybe it's the money market fund, maybe it's a fixed income fund, or wherever you want to put your money. You can force yourself to save. The second thing is another strategy to adopt is consistency. You will not achieve where you're going by one-off investment or unplanned or unstructured saving. So if you can purpose to put a certain amount, be it every month or every quarter or every when you know your income comes in. So every time my income comes in, I will be putting aside a certain percentage. And there is even a formula of how you can save, the 50-30-20 rule, whereby 50% of your income should go to your needs, and 30% can go to your wants, and 20% can go to your savings. So ensure that you have even a structure, a strategy. You have put together a framework that will be guiding you. And we are really focusing on you because all this we are doing is for you. Don't look at what another person is doing or what is being said out there. Focus on your goals. So we have said that strategies that can help you with saving is making sure that you have tools that support you with saving. Number two, ensure that they are safe. They are safe saving avenues. Number three, they are simple, and number four, you're consistent. Yes, I think with those four strategies, you'll get somewhere.
I think there's a word you'd like to say. I think discipline.
Yes. Yes.
I think discipline is quite important, because I remember there's a time I saved up 100,000 Kenya shillings, and I don't know where, but all of a sudden you have problems that need 100,000 Kenya shillings, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. This iPhone is 100,000 shillings. Oh, you owe someone 100,000 shillings. A laptop is 100,000 shillings. I came to realize that if you don't have discipline, by the way, you might end up taking all your savings. Your girlfriend needs a wig that is worth 100,000 shillings. So I think you realize that anytime you save some money, the money that you've saved always has to have this particular need that fits the exact amount of money. Like you save 100,000, the intention was for you to actually just have an emergency fund. And then all of a sudden you have a 100,000 Kenya shillings emergency. Right. Thank you for that. Now, I'll get back to
point,
yes.
Just on that point, actually today I was speaking with a certain client who told me, Monica, I think people know I have money. Wananisalimia sana. So I need this money away from me because I've already started biting the money. It was this amount, now it's this amount. So it's exactly what we are saying. And it's not that they know you have money. There's what we call even the psychology of money. Like when you have money, you even feel you can call it, you can be able to afford this. So that's why we are saying you need to have the discipline, you need to have goals of why you're investing, and even instilling for saving. Maybe we can even call it that way. Yeah.
There's a fever people get. There's a fever. Unajua kuna when you start having like probably you are broke and now you have like 100,000 or 200,000 shillings in your bank account. All of a sudden there's that urge that you start getting to have like niko na 100,000. Like honestly, sometimes I think that when you don't have money, you might sleep better at night. But the moment you have money in your pocket, or probably if you have money in your bank account, you'll wake up at 2 a.m. to start researching on things that can actually be bought with that particular money. And I think discipline plays a really important role when it comes to your money, because at that point, that is when you start feeling generous. You're like, you're calling guys, hey, hatujaonana in 5 years. I think tunafaa tupatane. But when you're broke, all of a sudden you're like now disciplined enough to know that 10 shillings can inaweza kula hadi sapa. But when you have 100,000 shillings, I think there's a way someone's brain actually tends to be like not thinking when you have money. Like if you have 250,000 Kenya shillings, all of a sudden you're not even sleeping at night. You're thinking of how much an LG fridge costs. You're thinking about, I mean, I honestly have experienced that, where I remember the first time I had like 600,000 shillings in my bank account. I couldn't sleep. I was wondering which vehicle can I buy. I was wondering where can I buy land. I was wondering where can I had all these things going on in my head. And then all of a sudden someone calls me from the countryside and they're like, hey, umetunyamazia sana. And you tell them, let me bless you with 1,000 shillings. You know, you buy airtime for people. I think discipline plays a very important role. I'd like to maybe pose this particular question to John. If John is here with us. John?
I am here.
John, you mentioned something about short-term goals and long-term goals, and you talked about short-term investment strategies and long-term investment strategies. And I think in between, you've also mentioned something about mid-term investment strategies, yeah? So I'd like for you to probably tell us some of the best short-term investment opportunities, number one, and number two, the best long-term investment opportunities.
Right, that is a very, very good question. Just allow me to jump back one step and even put more weight to that, because what you're talking about, discipline in investment, is very important. Maybe one of these fine days when time allows us, we will come and talk about how behavior and our personalities have a way of interjecting our financial decisions. You had a New Year resolution, you are so committed to it. In fact, let me say this: when you don't have money, you are so sober. You are always preaching a gospel to yourself. When I get money, I will save, I will invest. In fact, I have a business idea that I know I will fund. Let me tell you, when money comes, money and
I think I cannot hear you, John. John, you've disappeared. John, I think there's a problem with your internet. Am I the only one who's having a
sorry,
problem with John?
can you hear me now?
Good. I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. I think something happened and I was offline. So I was saying there's something that happens when you don't have money. When you don't have money, you are very sober, especially when you are coming from a point of you had money, you misused it, and now you are here looking forward to the next money. You start preaching a sermon to yourself. When I get money, I will plan. Hapo ndio unapatanga watu wa kutenga. Tutatenga na tutapanga na tutafanya hizi vitu zote. When money comes, sense disappears. Money and sense don't like staying in the same house. So you get back to square one of starting to now preach another gospel. You know, when you get money, that is when you start thinking, I think I need to change diet. I think I need to, even stop. I am walking a lot. I need to start using Uber and whatever else that is. So before you realize, there are more days at the end of the money. In other words, you finish the money before it could cover the days that are remaining. And so the first thing is to understand what is the nexus between your money behavior, your money personality, and the money. Because as much as we may want to assume it, it's already there. And let me tell you, a person like myself, I am a spender. There is a category of people who are called spenders. Mimi ni ule mtu I spend so that nisifiwe. and isifiwe milele. That guy can guy can pay bills. That guy can do this. And it actually feels very actualizing that I am the one who footed the bills. And it is a personality issue. So when I understood that, what have I been doing? One, I do a lot of budgeting. Mimi ndio watu wa kutenga. Watu wa kutenga tuko wengi. So we make sure that tumetenga na tumeweka pesa kando so that usikule fees. Usikule, you don't put the money to the wrong use. There are people who are savers. And these savers, they save for whatever reason. I don't know, Elvis, whether you have friends who don't even look like the money they earn. That guy don't even spend on themselves. And you don't even want to be a girlfriend to that person because they look like the world is ending. And they don't even. And these are very judgmental people. If they see you buy a Samsung S25 Plus, wanaanza kusema ni pesa ya loan. Oh, I cannot even buy a car before I buy a house because how can I park? Hiyo ni plot mzima, they could be very judgmental. And all these personalities have a way of intercepting our financial decisions. So part of what we normally emphasize is understand your relationship with money, because it is from there that okay, I spend a lot because I have understood that is how I am made up, and now I need to figure out a way of ensuring that I put the money where it is supposed to be done. I think I wanted to emphasize on that so that now you don't find yourself, you don't think there's something wrong. No, you need to do an audit of your money personality so that now you are able to know how that is intercepting your goals. Now, back to the issue of how do you do short-term, or what are some of the best short-term, medium-term, and long-term investments? And even before I talk about the options themselves, I want to talk about how do you look at an investment, or how do you make a choice on where to put your money? So there are a few parameters that you look at. Number one is access. How easy is it for me to access the money? Because you don't want to have a long-term goal, a short-term goal rather, and you have put it in a platform where access can only be long-term. Because there are investments that you cannot access money in the short run. So you first of all look at what is the access level of this money. Number two is the risk profile. You look at what is the risk profile of the investment that I'm about to get in. We normally have a risk spectrum where we have from low, medium to high risk investments. Of course, the higher the risk, the higher the returns. So you don't want to have, for example, you are looking at school fees, or you are looking at a very certain goal, and then you are putting the money in a very uncertain platform that money can go either way. Number three is now what we call goal and investment matching. So you have a short-term goal, and then you match it with a short-term investment. You have a medium-term goal, you match it with a medium-term investment. And you have a long-term goal, and you match it with a long-term investment. So, for example, when we talk about short-term, you are looking at platforms where you can easily access the money. So, talk about your money market funds, talk about your treasury bills, talk about your fixed deposits, the short-term fixed deposits. You could even be looking at probably you are looking at a loan, or you want to get a credit facility in the near future. Talk about your circles there. That's where they come in. And medium short term is anything below 1 year. So you're looking at a goal that you want to fulfill between now and the next 12 months. So you cannot choose an investment vehicle that you will not be able to access that money. That's why I'm talking about access. You cannot access that money, yet it's a short-term goal. Then when we talk about medium-term goals, we are talking about short-term bonds. They are bonds that and other fixed income options that have a shorter term, that have shorter tenures, and you're able to put in money there and be able to get it mature within that short term. Then when you're talking about long-term goals, you could be having a long-term goal. Maybe your long-term goal is, buying a car. And let me also say this, your long-term goal might be my short-term, and my short-term might be your long-term. For someone who probably is already doing their undergraduate, probably their medium or long-term goal could be to go and do their master's. And so you look at that. But for someone who is already doing their master's, probably their goal is to buy a car or to retire or whatever that goal is. So then you are able to look at a platform or an investment vehicle that would help you to get there. So talk about your long-term. Like at Arvocap, we have a fund we call Ngure. And, we coin it to fit a retirement, someone who is looking to do retirement or even to exit active job and, be able to live on whatever they have already made, that would be a very good term goal. Real estate, for example, rentals. There are things we call rates nowadays that are in real estate, but in a more digitized way. So you are able now to look at those opportunities and platforms and now be able to jump on them. Finally, as I said, our investment journeys are different. Our cash flows are different. Our appetites are different. Our horizons are different. Don't copy what someone is doing. Craft something that suits you as a person. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, John, for that. I think you deserve a round of applause for actually really opening that up. Now, I'm going to pose this particular question for you because you mentioned, and money market funds have become like a household discussion nowadays, where you find that I think every day we're always finding discussions on money market funds. Put your money in a money market fund. Maybe for beginners, for you to actually just open and unseal the lid. What are money market funds and what role do they actually play and how do they work? John.
Thank you very much. Let me say this: money markets are short-term investments that invests in short-term government securities. So I will just tell you in retrospect how it works. So when you invest your money in a money market fund, the fund manager will buy what we call short-term government securities. This is treasury bills and short-term government bonds. And the way I look at the money market fund is not an investment. And this is what I would like us to take home today. Money market is not an investment because when you are looking at that investment, you are looking at returns, you are looking at time horizon, you are looking at all those things combined. For us, money market fund is a premier cash management tool. Let me say that again. Money market is a premier cash management tool. How? You could be having money that you're not using in the short run. All right. Maybe you want to, pay school fees next term, but you have the money right now. So you look at a platform where you can put that money. It will be earning you some good, some decent returns, much more than what would have been in the bank or in a mobile banking. But at the same time, it's a safe investment. You're not going to find your money lower than what you put it. Number two, you could be saving for a short-term goal. My short-term goal could be I want to change my wardrobe. I want to buy a new gadget. I want to go for holiday. I want to move houses, whatever that short-term goal could be. So instead of putting this money in the bank or again in the mobile banking, you put it in the money market. So every day or as often as you are able to, you are putting small amount towards that goal that you have. So it's a good way of managing your cash. It's a good way of accumulating money for a certain short-term goal that you could be having. And it could even be long-term. But it's a medium, it's a tool where you are able to be able to have that plan. It also gives you the discipline to save. For instance, if you have a short-term goal and you saw now you started with this amount, you put and gradually you are gravitating towards your goal, it normally gives you the energy and the staying power to be able to continue with that journey. So why I say it's not an investment per se, it's because the returns for money market as compared to other investment opportunities might be low. Now, last year, money markets were doing so well. I think we were doing upwards of 18, 17 and around there. Today, the treasury bills, which are the assets where money markets invest, they are below 10%. I actually was looking at the current rates, the three months and the 6 months, and I think even the 1 year are below 10% right now. So money market rates continues to go down and go down and go down. So if you had put it as an investment and you had pegged it at 18%, unasema ati money market size iko 18%, so I will do this because if I calculate 19% now in 2 years or 3 years, I'll achieve this. Now they're almost at half. So what are you going to do? That's why I said it's a good way to augment or even deal with when you are looking at your short-term goals. So money markets are a premier cash management tool. They serve three main purposes among the many. One is to help you put aside money that you're not saving, that you're not using in the short run. Two is to accumulate money for a short-term goal. And number three is to accumulate money so that you can invest it in vehicles that give even higher returns. So from where I sit, that's the perspective I have about money market funds.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, John. I think it's good enough that you've put it out that money market funds should not really be treated as an investment instrument as people think. And I was actually having the same discussion with a friend of mine, and I was telling him, I think it's important for people to really get to understand the importance of putting your money in a money market fund, and that it's not you putting your money. People have become so used to scams nowadays. I think you've seen where nowadays you're finding there are platforms that are saying that if you put 100,000 Kenya shillings in this particular platform, tomorrow we will give you 400,000 Kenya shillings. I don't know. People tend to have these violated and, let me say, crooked idea that you can put your money in a money market fund, that you put 3,000 and buy cash. I think it's a gambling mentality, if you ask me. I think it's people who have become so used to gambling because they think that it's, if you hear someone explaining the term investment, unasikia akisema nikiekelea hiyo pesa kwa money market fund, like every single person is nikiekelea. You see, it's like a gambling mentality because I think people have become so used to the aspect of gambling and losing money. And when you're gambling, you're trying to get a lot of money in return. So thank you, John, for putting that out. I think I'll go to Monica slowly because it's already 9:13 p.m.
Elvis?
Monica, I'd like... Yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Maybe as we go to Monica, I'd just like to let you know that Mr. Wilson is on board. So maybe I will introduce him and have him. Yeah.
Sure. Let me actually just add him as a co-host so that he can actually introduce himself. And let me look for him. He is somewhere here. Good. I think he's actually a co-host. Mr. Wilson, can you hear me?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Thank you. Welcome to the discussion today. I think maybe the best thing for you to do is to do justice for everyone and introduce yourself.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wilson Wariari, the Chief Investment Officer of Arvocap Asset Managers. And it's a great honor to have you with us this night. I see the numbers, a lot of people. And that just shows the the need for investor knowledge, that even as investors make these financial decisions. And as a young people, as you're making your goals, as you're planning your goals. And I was listening to the conversation earlier, and when the CEO and our clients manager, relationships manager, they was taking you through, what does it mean for you to have a goal? And once you have this goal, then how do you set out, to actualize the goal? And that's where now investments come in, that you have a goal that you want to work towards. The financial goal means that if there's a financial goal, it needs to be funded in one way or the other. And so may it be short-term or long-term, then you make a plan. How do I fund that goal? And one way to fund your goal is that as you earn today, because there's that aspect where there's this, there's this contract you have done, there's this payment you are expecting, so you'll be getting this lump sum payout, and you go and fund your goal. That's not always the case. To 99.9% of all of us, when you have that goal, you work towards it. That I want to acquire this asset in the next 1 year, the next 6 months, the next 3 years. And so for me to acquire it, I need to be setting aside these amounts of, this figure, these amounts of money every month. And then the question is, how do you inculcate a discipline in yourself to work towards that goal? And this is where now, as I introduce investments, that you have this financial goal, which needs to be funded. But then you know that since you don't have this lump sum to invest, at one go, you want to build yourself for the next, this defined period of time that you have, then how do you inculcate that discipline, for you to save and put money aside? And at times when we just put money aside without any end goal, or when you don't have, when you're just, savings in your savings account, you're saying that every month, putting aside 5K, putting aside 50,000, because there's this car I want to buy, I'm putting aside my 100,000, but then it's not earning for you. It's not giving you a return. So even from an inflation basis, means every year, if your average inflation is 5.5%, you're losing, time value of money. You're already losing your value on that. And so investments come in to, one, complement the goals that you have to help you work towards that journey by, one, providing you an avenue to safely, manage these investments that you have, then give you a decent return that will help you outperform, your inflation rate, that you're not losing value even as you set your money, but also give you the motivation. I think for me, the key point here is the motivation to save. Okay, you have your initial motivation, the goal, but then what gives you the motivation to have the discipline? What oils this motivation, towards that goal? This is when our investments come in. And as John said, what we do is to help you match that goal that you have with the best investment product that will help you do that. Looking at it from money market, I know John has just spoken about it, that it's their best savings partner. Gives you the discipline, gives you the flexibility. So this is the beauty about the money market. Gives you the discipline, the flexibility that it gives you, that you can put any time, any amount, as frequent as you can. You can put your 1,000 in the morning, put 500 during the day, then in the evening you add top up another 500. You save your 1,000 for the day. Tomorrow you save 5,000, 50,000, 100,000, depending on your goal. And as you're doing so, you'll see your money growing. You're seeing your money compounding. You're seeing yourself working towards that goal. That's the beauty about the money market funds, that they give you the discipline. They give you the motivation. So basically, that's one way to look at investments. And so when we speak about the young people and saving and working towards their goal, the idea here, or what we are just trying to to speak about this night, is that as you save, have a goal. What is the purpose? What is the drive towards which you are doing it? And then have a product that gives you the motivation, that gives you that discipline there, to continue doing it. And so, that for the short-term part of it, that's why you come to the money market fund. But now when you come to long-term investments, I'm sure you'll be getting there. But now we also want to introduce some of the other products that you can help to work towards these, long-term goals that you have. So once again, asante sana. I'm really excited to be with you this evening. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you for the insights, and thank you for chiming in the discussion. Now, Monica, I think I want to bring to you just a few questions from a few guys in the chat section. I want to probably share this with you because I think you're the best person to actually respond to this. And when I was looking at the comment section, the good thing is nowadays we have artificial intelligence that allows you to analyze comments very fast and understand the various topics of discussion. So I want you to answer the questions. Your questions are going to be based on behavioral money habits and financial discipline, okay? There's a lady who has asked a very interesting question over here. And the question is this: I always give away my money and end up broke. How can I change? Okay. Now, there's a second question. This one is basically on money behavior. Whenever I have money, I immediately think about how to spend it. Number two. Number three is, why do people mishandle money when they get large sums of money for the first time? That is Nelson, we have Anthony, and we have Caroline. I think you can actually handle that, Monica. I think the first question is I always give my money and end up broke. How can I actually get to change?
Thank you. I think John had started a discussion around money personality. There are people whose money personality are givers, and these are people who can give and deny themselves. And every money personality has its own advantages and disadvantages. There is no perfect money personality. So it's just coming to realization of who you are, and then you start working towards the strengths of your personality and suppressing the disadvantages or the weaknesses of your personality. A good example of how you can deal with this is the budgeting part that we spoke about. So we said we are going to deal with this at a personal level. We are not going to deal with Elvis said, Monica said, or Wilson said, or John said, but it is yourself. What are your goals of investing? If you are a giver, you will actually have one objective there as giving. You will put there, this is money for giving. And so once it depletes, you will say, I don't have money to give. I've also seen a question in the comments on black tax. Is an equal strategy that you can apply here. Budget for that black tax. I mean, how many WhatsApp groups are you finding yourself on contributing for a funeral, a sickness, a wedding? You know, people still put people in WhatsApp groups to finance their weddings. And whatever case you find yourself, why don't you budget for this? Because you cannot run away from it. And you know, the perception is usually, let me just contribute because kesho itakuwa mimi. I would like people to contribute for me if it was me. So there is something also called social capital. So you can't say, I will never contribute to anything of that. Because tomorrow you'll need this social capital, this investment that you're making. So budget around the money for giving. Actually, I have clients and friends who have a certain kitty on the side that is used for giving. And once it gets over, before the month is over, unfortunately, they might not be able to lend or to give. So that's one way of looking at it. The other question on why people mishandle money when they receive huge sums of money. I want to equate this to one, exposure. We have been raised, or we have come from, maybe we can say humble backgrounds where we've not seen these amounts of money changing hands even in our homes. So once you find yourself, and Elvis is saying that when he found himself with 600,000, he actually felt like, you know, you're going crazy. And there's someone who, when they have 600,000, is just like, there's not much it can do because this and this and that. So I want to commend, I saw KICD, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, actually came up with a curriculum for training investments all the way from the primary schools. And this is something that once you have the knowledge of where you can put this money aside, and it is not catching you by surprise. You're not thinking about it when money has come. It is something you are usually equipped. It's the same way as a car. You don't think about how to drive a car when you have entered in it. You learn how to drive. Then when you find the car, or when the car comes, you are able to jump in and drive. So that's the same attitude we can apply here. Let's be equipped. Let's even think. Throw yourself those scenarios. Ask yourself, what would I do today if I got $1 million, Bob? If I got 500 shillings, what would I do? Start imagining, and this is also what we call power of attraction. You will find yourself attracting that 1 million or that 500,000, and when it comes, it will not find you by surprise. So create avenues, or start replaying where you will put the money even before the money has come. It's just the same way a farmer would build granaries when they are planting, because they will harvest. Not when they have harvested, is when they are wondering, well, where do I keep this whole harvest that I've made? So that's the best way I would approach that. The other question was on how to spend it. I think I've addressed the 3 questions, and I hope the people who ask the questions are feel sufficiently answered.
Yeah, thank you for that response, really. And maybe just something to add. I also have a pointer that I've learned that the moment you become responsible with little money, and you slowly develop the habit of budgeting and planning for this money, even if you get these lump sum, huge amounts of money, you will always be like, I've been responsible enough with 20,000. Now that I have 100,000, I need to be more responsible. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. John, I'd like to pose a few questions to you. This is in regards to investment strategies and wealth building. John, are you still with us? I think this one you're going to share with Mr. Wilson. So I'm going to pose 3 questions to you. Question number 1, this was a question from Frederick Amani. The first question was, with 100,000 Kenya shillings in capital, what is the best investment in agribusiness? You can share some insights on that. Number 2, what is the least amount of money needed to invest in a money market fund? That is Nelson Jenga. And finally, this is a question from Philomena Wanjiro. The question is, which is the best platform to save for short-term goals in Arvocap?
All right. Thank you very much. For the first question, allow me to pass because I am also looking for someone who will teach me to get into agribusiness. The last time I tried to do that, and Wilson will bear me witness, we ended up eating the potatoes that we planted, and it was not funny. So I might not be the best person to answer the question on agribusiness. However, this is my theory about investment, especially in a new field. Look for someone who has done it, because I could be giving you my own experience, and mine is a failed one. I remember, and again, this is a story we share with Wilson, a friend of ours who opened a butchery, not very far from where I stay, just because he thought it's a strategic place and there are no butcheries around. Forgetting there are so many dynamics of quality of meat. How do you cut? I don't know whether you guys normally go to buy meat and you tell the butcher man, usinikatia mfupa. Alafu you, or even going to buy meat in the butchery and unabuy nyama ya 50 na jamaa anainua shoka, unamuuliza butcher man, shoka na nyama ni ya 50 ni ya nini? Anyway, there are many dynamics into a new business. And you definitely need mentorship, and so that's what I would say in as far as that is concerned. At Arvocap, the least amount of money that you need to open a money market fund is 3,000 shillings, and you can do top-ups of 1,000 shillings and above. I know for sure in the market there are other providers who would even have lower minimums, but what we wanted to do is to help you push yourself, so that you are not starting at the bare minimum, because you can imagine if you are putting in 100 shillings and the money market rate is at 13%. So even if that money stays there for 1 year, you will only have 1.3 shillings. Alafu igongwe tax. So we wanted to push you up so that we are somewhere where you can be able to push yourself. And maybe to cap it up on the money market is something that we call money market wallets. Now, this is what puts the Arvocap money market fund separate from the market. We have something we call wallets. And what are wallets? For most people, they put in money market for a rainy day. Then the following day it rains, and you remove the money and you start again. The other thing is that most of the time, as you said, Elvis, you put in money. And then kidogo kidogo unapokewa simu kutoka ushago, shosho wako amemeza jembe, and now you have to send all the money that you had saved. So to cap that, what we did is we created something we call wallets. This is where you are able to identify a goal. Could it be holiday or whatever that is? Then attach an amount to that goal, then save gradually towards that goal. And if you lock the goal, you are not able to access that money until you hit the goal. The advantage is the money still earns interest at the current money market rate. So that is what makes us different from the rest of the market. So yeah, I say the minimum initial investment in the money market at Arvocap is 3,000, and you can do top-ups of 1,000 shillings and above as many times as you'd like. The other question was, which is the best? I don't know whether Wilson is still with us. He can help me answer that question. If yes, if not, then please remind me what the question is so that I am able to answer it.
I mean, the final question was, okay, it's the best platform to save for short-term goals in Arvocap. That was it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wilson, are you there? If not, then I'll take it up. So for short-term goals,
Yes.
please take it up. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. So now let me pick that question and also some few related questions I had picked earlier from the questions that were asked. Now, as we said, matching your goal to the investment product. Now, for short-term goals, our best investment product is the money market, and which is the platform. We have an app. We have an app called Arvocap. If you go to your Play Store or App Store, or even through our website, we have a web portal. Through the app or through the web portal Arvocap, you can start your investment goal. You can start your investment journey. So that's the best. That's the best platform for short-term investing. And why is it the best for short-term? Because one, money market funds or the Arvocap money market fund has no locking period. So there is an initial 7 days for your first investment, but after that you can withdraw, and that is mostly because of the anti-money laundering laws and regulations. But after that, you can withdraw your money at any time, and within 24 hours your money is paid back. So that means where you have these short-term goals and 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year that you want to achieve, then the money market fund becomes the best. And as I said, the easiest and the best way to go about it is through the app. You download the Arvocap app on Play Store or App Store. It's a self-onboarding process. It takes you less than 2 minutes to onboard yourself. And once you have onboarded, you can start your service journey. However, to emphasize on something that John has spoken about, that we saw it that instead of as investors are trying to invest in the money market funds, at a point their goals go beyond that their goals are diverse. You say that this money market is to pay school fees in May. Then the other one will say that now this money market fund, it's because I want to buy this asset. I want to buy my car in December, or I want to save towards buying this property or piece of land in the next 1 year or 2 years. And so your goals become diverse. Others are to file their trip. You're going for a very nice holiday in August or in December, and so you want to save or to put aside money for that. And so how do we help you even become more disciplined in that? So that's where the wallets come in, whereby now as you invest in your money market fund, then you have these wallets and you can earmark. You say that now I've invested 20,000, but of this 20,000, 5,000 is to pay school fees, 5,000 is for holiday, 5,000 is to buy this asset, and 5,000 is for this other need. Then as you top up, every time you top up, you'll be topping up and saying that, okay, once you top up, then you're like, okay, I've topped up 10,000, I've topped up 50,000, and out of this, I want this to go towards school fees. So the wallet gives you that discipline to save, and even as you're saving, you can create as many one. Then you segregate what this needs, and you can even lock. You can say that for this amount to buy a car, I don't want to do it until I buy that car. For this amount to buy to start capital, I want to 500,000. I want $1 million to start. To have capital to start my business. I don't want to remove it until I have that $1 million. So you can.
I think, I don't know, Wilson,
your goals.
we have a bit of a problem with you're hanging kidogo. I think the internet on your end is a bit of a problem.
I could step in if
okay. Oh, I think he's back. He's back.
Yeah. All right. Proceed.
Yeah, just basically to wrap it up, I'll say now we go beyond with the money market fund now through the wallets makes it better even to organize your goals through those wallets. So these are the tools, the platforms that you have provided for investors through Arvocap. to better manage the investments and also to work towards their goals, the specific goals that they have. Elvis?
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson, for that. I think, Monica, you have something to add on?
Yeah, I just want to augment what Wilson is trying to take us to. And we are trying to level up our investors. Yes, we are saying that money market is not an investment, but that's what investors have always thought, that money markets are investments because they are dubbed as very safe. So what next? What is the solution then? So at Arvocap, it's like we had seen that ahead, and we created a number of other funds that play a role in the investor's portfolio. So we do have, and I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chats, we do have fixed income funds. Fixed income funds are funds that invest in bonds. Bonds are also very safe, low risk. We now bring in some strategies that help us to increase the returns in bonds. And maybe at this point, I can actually indicate that I have been a bonds dealer for the last 14 years. And this is a space that we really understand on participating in the markets. We have a bonds market where about 8 to 10 billion worth of bonds are trading almost on a daily. And so how can we help our investors make money from investing in bonds? Because remember, as we are saying, you match your investments to the right, you match your investments into the right vehicle. You may come and say you want to invest in bonds for a long-term goal, but this bond will be paying you coupons every 6 months. What do you do with that coupon? Most people eat coupon, or it's money that came. So will you achieve your goal? Most likely, maybe not. You will have your capital, yes, at the end of the period you have the bond, but has it gotten you to that long-term goal? Maybe not. So what have we done? We have brought in a bond fund where you invest your money. We buy the same bonds that the characteristics of the bonds, low risk, have a coupon, and you can be able to exit from a bond in the secondary market when you want. So we bring in reinvestment of the coupons, so you will not be paid your coupons. And then we are bringing in the aspect of trading these bonds. So we are enhancing your return by bringing you capital gains in your portfolio. So what have you done? You have edged yourself away from exposing your investments to the rates, to the money market rates that are very volatile. At the same time, remember, bonds have an inverse relationship with rates. When rates are going down, the value of bonds actually go up. So at that time, your bond valuation is growing. When rates are going up, what are you doing? You are accumulating more bonds to ensure that you're locking in bonds at high rates. So this is a strategy that an investor can apply to ensure that you are working to achieving your long-term goals. All right. So that's only on fixed income. We also have a Ngao fund, which the fund that I was talking about that augments, it's called Almasi Fixed Income Accumulation Bond Fund. It is in our app. Minimum investment is 100,000. Minimum top up is 100,000. That's where now money market comes to play. I can see people asking why we are over talking about money market, because most of these investments, as John said, may have a higher minimum that you may not have it immediately. So you build up in the money market fund. You're trying to invest in Almasi. You don't have 100,000. You start in money market fund. You put your 20,000, your 5,000, your 1,000. And I like what you said, Elvis, that you don't just put in 3,000 and you wait for a magic to happen and it has grown to this amount of money. So put in small amounts into the money market fund as money comes. Your goal now in this case is to get to the minimum 100,000 to invest in the Almasi. And you continue like that. You feel, you pour, you feel, you pour. And this makes this journey, investment journey, a beautiful journey and a worth journey. Besides fixed income funds, where we also have a fund that distributes or pays, and also a fund that is dollar denominated, that is a Eurobond fund, investing in Eurobonds, dollar denominated. We also have equity funds. So we are also bringing an investor access to these other asset classes, which now risk goes becoming higher, and so could the return, or otherwise, really, not always that a high risk is high return, but well managed, there is potential of getting high return. So when you're curating your portfolio, supposing one of your goal was to create wealth. I want to create wealth so that by the time I'm getting to retirement age, I'm able to just sit back and make money, or my money now pays me. You can be able to put a part of your investment portfolio into equities. So supposing you came to invest a million bob, we can advise you that put 700,000 in Almasi, which is a bond fund, put 100,000 into money market fund for emergency, put 100,000 into equities fund, and put another 100,000 in a multi-asset strategy fund, which is even more riskier. So what are we doing? We are exposing you to the opportunities that are there in the market. And once you start this journey, news stop just being news. You hear Trump has come, he's bringing about tariffs, he's calling off some of these bodies, like you said, and you're wondering what's the impact, or you're just there busy discussing and getting very emotional about news. Can you, as an investor, ensure that these news, because we make money from news, how are you making money from that news? How are you sipping your drink or your water wherever you are, knowing your money is making you money from news? So that's where we come in, work with a professional who is able to also sieve worth news and non-worth news, who is able to profile you, your risk levels. Some people say, me, I want a risky product because my risk appetite is very high. But when you assess this person, you realize actually they cannot be able to absorb any risk. They have a family, they have kids who are going to school, they have a sick parent, they have so many things that cannot allow them to tap into risk. Another person will come and tell me, I don't want anything risky, I just want safe. But when you look at their portfolio, actually it can be able to absorb some risk. So creating this awareness is what we do. We sit down with you as an investor, we guide you, we start creating a roadmap to where you're going. Everyone has different goals and different objectives, as John said. So how do we match not all your goals to the investment products that we have? To avoid going on and on and on, I think I can leave it there, but I hope I've answered most of the questions I'm seeing in the chat. But if there is any other one that is really popping out, you can still shoot it and then we look at it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Monica. Asante. It's already 9:45 p.m. and I think it's time for us to really get to wind up in the discussion, because I think there are so many questions. I don't think money discussions actually end. In fact, if we had churches that talked about money, I think the church services should start at 8 a.m. in the morning and probably end at 8 p.m. in the evening, because money is a topic that you can't really end a discussion on money, because everyone has a problem with money. You're going to find so many questions, really. And for me, I just want to say thank you for each and every person who's joined in today. Today, I think we had over 500 people, close to 600 actually. And I'm so glad to actually see that people were able to join the discussion. I think my own mother was actually here. My own mother was here. So she really wanted to hear what it was really, what everything is, especially for the youth, because she's among those people who champion for youth, really. And perhaps maybe what I can do is actually just, I can see my mother's hand over here. My mother has raised her hand. She's joined the conversation. I think I want to do something interesting today, ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me. I'd like to introduce my mother. Would you like for me to introduce my mother? Probably. I think I have to unmute her. Let me unmute my mother so that she can actually just speak. Yeah. Mom, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
You can hear me.
Yes, yes.
You can introduce yourself. People probably know. They probably think I don't have a mom.
Yes, my name
Yeah.
is Dorcas. I am Elvis' mother. I'm his mentor. And I'm glad to have joined in this conversation. I was also interested. I wanted to hear from Arvocap. I wanted to hear from all the guests. And I'm happy that you guys have been able to join in. And thank you, Elvis, for the good work. You are number one champion. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. That's my mom. So probably everyone has always been asking me, where's my mother? She's actually a high school principal. So manners to her maketh man. So thank you so much, mom, for that. She was actually here to actually hear from Monica. Monica, I think now you've heard from my mother.
Yes, I have, and I'm happy. I'm happy to hear from her. I look forward to meeting her and also walking through the investment journey. I know for her it will be a different one. It's a retirement journey and discussion, which is another whole different discussion. I look forward.
She's very young, actually. She's very young. Yeah. Yeah. So
You
thank you.
start planning for retirement now, eh? Yeah, even
sure.
ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. So I think maybe I'll give John, maybe we can start with John. Maybe he can actually share his parting shot and tell us what, maybe just share a parting shot on maybe everything that we've talked about today, short-term investments, long-term investments, mid-term investments.
Thank you very much. I think I have a parting shot, and I think it is John C. Maxwell who said that budgeting is planning for money rather than wondering where it went. So if you have, if there is one thing that I would like to emphasize in our discussion tonight, is start with a goal. If I was to ask you, if I give you 1 million shillings today, what would you do with it in the next 12 months, or in the next 36 months, or in the next 60 months? What is your goal? Do you have visibility? So that money doesn't come hit you, because money doesn't like vacuum. There needs to be a good plan. So if I have to leave you with something tonight, start with drafting your goals. And as Monica said, be very brutal with yourself. If you cannot afford, you cannot afford. Some of us, the only New Year's resolution that we need is to change friends, because you are working with friends who are getting you lost completely away from your goals. And when the goal is not known, speed is not an advantage, because you could be running towards the wrong goal. So make sure that you have a goal and you're working towards it. I saw someone ask our number. So the phone number is 0701 300 200. 0701 300 200. So you can call or WhatsApp. We'll be able to respond to you and make sure that we customize the investment journey for you. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I think I'll go to Monica. Monica.
Thank you. I'm going to put my parting shot addressing a number of questions I've seen on how do you know an MMF is legit, or any investment for that matter. It is very simple. First of all, you need to know whether the investment that you're getting into is regulated. So for example, it's a money market fund that we've never had. I've seen a lot of new names I've never even had in the chat. It is very simple. Our regulator, Capital Markets Authority, has a website where they have listed all their licensees. So you can click the licensees tab, is usually on the top right corner. You will be able to see different categories of licensees. Click fund managers. You will be able to see all the fund managers that are being regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. You'll even see their license numbers. You can also click back and check for the products that are invested. Click collective investment scheme tab. You'll be able to see all the collective investment schemes, or otherwise known as funds, that are being regulated by Capital Markets Authority. Some names may not be regulated by Capital Markets Authority, but they are promoters. So if it's a name you've never heard, you can ask them, whose money market is this you're selling? Maybe they'll tell you, we are selling so-and-so's money market. And so-and-so is the fund manager of our money market. So them, they are promoters, or they are PSPs maybe collecting money, but they don't invest directly. So that is good to know. Again, how do you vet an investment opportunity? Check whether it's transparent, that you have all the facts. You can even come through the what do you call it, terms and conditions. Number two, ensure that its returns are not ridiculous. When you're told that this gives a return of 100% within a month, questions that you cannot be able to answer, that's another red flag. Another one is it urgent? Are you being pitched this investment and being told, if you don't invest now, or by tomorrow, then this opportunity will not be there? Those are the things that you need to check all the time, whether this is a legit or not legit investment. Otherwise, I'm so glad that you all logged in and are keen to learn about investments. It's a beautiful journey and it can transform your life. You can be able to achieve and live a purposeful life, that by the time you're leaving this earth, you feel you lived a purposeful life because you are able to do this, and live like that, not always feeling pressure, anxiety, and all those problems of money that can cause. I look forward to interacting with you people. Download our app, invest with us, call us, write emails. I think we'll be leaving our contacts behind, and you can be able to also book an appointment with us, and we'll be able to walk through with you the wealth in investment journey. Thank you so much, Elvis, and thank you for the collaboration we've had. We look forward to more of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so much. We can actually just give a round of applause to Monica for the amazing insights that she's actually shared. I think, is Mr. Wilson still around?
Hi, Elvis.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. I think we can actually end with you. You can actually share a parting shot.
Yes. So my parting shot is, as an investor, we always say, when is the last time to begin? So it's yesterday, it's now. You can start this journey. And whichever your goal is, we can create the pathway towards that journey. So whether it's short term, your money market fund with 3,000 minimum and 1,000 top up, you can start your journey. When you have those goals that are mid-term to long term, and you want to, to save towards those goals, we have the board funds that Monica spoke about. The Almasi fund has been it's the best fixed income fund currently giving for the last 18.5 months, giving 19.8% cumulative. So that's an average of 2.28% per month. Extremely decent return. And as Monica explained it, it's a low-risk investment, investing in government securities. What we do, we are very active in it. We have a team of research analysts and portfolio managers. We're always looking for these opportunities to invest in this board fund. And so when you have that mid to long-term goal, then the Almasi fund becomes your best partner for target investing or to work with you that journey, earning decent income, but with low risk. And then where you want to, diversify more. I've seen questions on whether we just do KS. No, we do even, we have equity funds, as Monica explained. Africa Equities Fund, one of our best performing fund, events across different stocks in the African market. We have a global equities fund. We have a multi-asset strategy fund doing extremely very well, dollar denominated, invest in commodities, your gold, your themes like AI. So we are here to create whichever your goal is. We are here to create a product for you and work that journey for you. And even for those, I've seen Ahmed asking whether we have other investment products. We have Sharia compliant products that for ethical investing, for products that are fully compliant with the Sharia investing principles. So we have those investment products. And so for us as Arvocap, we are just here to provide you the solutions to your goals, to provide you the tools to work towards your goal. So whichever that goal is, as a young person, as John said, it's about beginning now. Start the planning now. And I think Monica also emphasized on that. Start planning now. You're doing your driving test now in anticipation of getting that car. So it's formulating that account now, starting with your, whether it's your money market or your Almasi, start wherever you can at this point, then build towards the goals that you have. So asanteni sana. It's great pleasure once more to be with you all. I can see, quite huge numbers till this late at night. So asanteni sana na mbarikiwe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Asanteni sana. I appreciate each and every person who's joined in this particular discussion. I'm that person who believes in sensible discussions, and Arvocap Asset Managers happens to be those people who are actually championing a lot for financial literacy and inclusion, especially when it comes to youth. So thank you to each and every person who's been part of the session. On TikTok, we had between 150 to 230 participants. On Google Meet, we had between 230 to around 370 participants. And thank you so much for each and every person who's joined in. I'm looking forward to having much more of these sessions that are educative, that share value, that bring in a sense of financial inclusion for young people, as well as for you to actually get to understand where to put your money, invest your money, and even plan for your own future. I would like to thank Philip. If Philip is here, he can actually unmute the microphone. He's a guy who does marketing.
Maybe before, as Philip is coming, I would just like to say something. For this session, if you are here and you are looking to start your investment journey, when you download the app, I want to give you a code that you're going to use so that you can be able to tell that you came from this session, so that again, even when we are having those discussions, we are very sure that it is from this session that you are coming from. So the code you can use is capital A, capital G, 9259. So when you are downloading the app, when it gets to the session where it's asking you for the referral code, you will put capital A, capital G, 9259, and we'll be able to know that we are coming from the session that we have tonight. Over to you, Philip.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of few words, so I'm going to keep it short. I just want to thank you all for joining us tonight and for taking your time. Apart from that, I encourage you to engage with us on our social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and also TikTok. If you have any queries, please feel free to DM them on those platforms. We've also shared our contact information. So if you have any other queries apart from those, you can share them on that particular number that we've shared. So please do enjoy that. Do enjoy your night, and we look forward to helping you achieve your financial goals. Thank you very much, Elvis.
Thank you, everyone. Asanteni sana. I think at this point, I just want to say thank you for each and every person who's joined in. I wish you all the very best as you probably begin your investment journey. I think, Monica, you have something to end with? Good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's been part of this session. I hope that you've been able to take something home. And thank you to everyone generally. So I just want to leave you with God bless you. And I wish you the very best as you begin your investment journey. And make sure you make the right decisions as you walk along in this financial journey. Thank you, everyone, and have yourselves a good night.